Let's hear what Fox News has to say. Let's hear what Brian Kilmeade has to say.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
Did you hear? He said, I'm literally talking to the president right now.
He lied.
He just told that woman.
I'm glad that these guys are focusing on the important stuff. Leave it up to Fox News to really nail the important parts of this story here, okay?
That woman is talking about that's her kid's school. They've lost everything at the school. The school is gone. And she is in distress. And what does he do? He lies to her.
Just flat out lies.
How many people has he lied to this week?
He lies all the time.
Exactly. And all these celebrities are now speaking out. That lady, that frustrated lady, was on with Jesse last night. And Jason Bateman's sister, what's her first name? Justine Bateman was on, and she was so frustrated too. And this is James Wood. Because remember, President Biden said he blamed this on climate change. James Wood says this fire is not from climate change, you
Bro, I hate this country sometimes, yo. Bro, James Woods will literally cry real tears while watching his multi-billion-dollar home engulf in flames and be like, how can I use this as an opportunity to do propaganda for the fossil fuel corporations, dude? What a psychotic way to approach life. Like, that is crazy, bro. That is actually insane. And I think at this point, like, we have arrived at a situation where, like, no change is going to happen, no systemic critiques necessary. So we might as well just, like, hyper focus on our pet issues. Like, I saw a tweet from like, specifically, I think, like, a fire ecologist from UCLA. Okay. This is his job. He researches climate change and its impact on the likelihood of causing wildfires. And the guy was saying, like, it's insane to look outside my window as I see the wildfires grow, as I'm currently packing up to evacuate because the wildfires might have the capacity to reach where I live. And I'm fielding phone calls from every mainstream institution to repeat the point for the 100,000th time that climate change is the leading cause for these wildfires. And no one cares. It is so insane. Scientists are just always talking about what the major factors are here, okay? And no one cares. We're just like, nah, you're wrong. It's because of DEI. Nah, you're wrong. It's because of arsonists, actually. It's because the fireman was gay or the firewoman. Yuck. I don't know what we do here. Like, I just don't know. It's because of Guatemalan migrants. Like, you can have a dude whose house is on fire and he'll turn around and be like, well, this is a great opportunity to talk about how woke and gay caused this. Actually, do not say it's climate change.
ignorant blank hole. It's because liberal.
Please mention PG&E one fucking time, for the love of God. I have. And this is, everybody yelled at me when I said PG&E works in Southern California and corrected me and told me that PG&E does not work in Southern California and that it is SoCal Edison or LADWP.
Idiots like you elect liberal idiots like Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. One doesn't understand the first thing about fire management and the other can't fill the water reserves.
Well,
reservoirs.
Across the board, there's been a failure to figure out, to pre-plan, to pre-position. Karen Bass, the mayor out there, she declared a state of emergency and then she flew to Ghana. And it's like, okay, there's going to be something.
17 hours.
There's going to be something that's going to change the arc of this city forever. And what is she at? She's at a ceremonial inauguration. From start to finish, all the way from the local neighborhoods right up to the top guy.
It's crazy because no one wants to address it, even at this point, where it's like directly happening. Okay, it's happening right now, and they're still like, no, it's actually the thing that I care about that is responsible for this fire somehow. No matter how strange, no matter how insane, it doesn't matter. Like, Libs of TikTok hates gay people, right? Hates queer people. She has spent the last couple of days talking about how the lesbian fire chief is responsible for this. It don't matter. Just as long as you don't say it's climate change, you can get away with saying whatever you want.
Oh, Biden, they got to figure out what went wrong. The mayor does not like being pressed. Why wasn't there water? Why didn't you pre-plan? Why'd you cut the budget? There's a little bit of what went on yesterday out in the City of Angels that was angry at her.
We're almost 48 hours after this fire started. There's not resources up there. The hydrants aren't working. Where's the National Guard? Where are miles and miles of water tenders? How are we addressing this?
Well,
Your reaction?
First of all, you asked me, was I frustrated by this? Of course, because we all know that this has been an unprecedented event. We also know that fire hydrants are not constructed to deal with this type of massive devastation, and that the number one...
I mean, she's also not wrong when she says this. Like, I'm not defending Karen Bass. I have already criticized Karen Bass on areas where it is worthy of criticism. But she's also not wrong as far as like water hydrants having to deal with wildfires, especially when there's 100-mile winds carrying ember everywhere. You're not going to be able to deal with that with water hydrants.
One problem, especially on Wednesday, was the fact that we...
Yeah, but why aren't they? Would be the correct response to that. What do you mean, why aren't they? A water hydrant is there for structural fires that happen in that city block, okay? A water hydrant is not there for wildfires. If that was the case, they would build wildfire prevention water hydrants all around the forest. A water hydrant is created for structural fires. You can't deal with like massive wildfires with water hydrants. It's like using a water pistol, trying to shoot the wildfire with a water pistol.
We weren't able to do the...
Bomb the fire? They did. And actually, that is a successful way to stop the wildfire. They bomb it with water. That is literally what they do. Some places have straight up like loiter munition style water bombs that they drop. That's not even a joke. That's a real that's what they're doing. It's actually very successful. One might even make the argument, this is crazy, but one might make the argument that even blowing up the fire with like explosive munitions could potentially work in stopping the fire, because the explosion sucks out the oxygen, so it would suffocate the fire in its entirety. Yeah, nuke the fire. I'm a civil engineer. You're correct. Hydrants aren't magical water hotspots. They're just surface ports of fire water lines. It's impossible to build a fire water line in a network in a forest. But it's not just in a forest either. It's like it's 100-mile winds coming in. You can like try to save as many structures as you possibly can with water hydrants, but like at a certain point, you know, it's just not going to work.
The Super Scooper right there. These are airplanes that are on loan. We actually leased them from Canada during fire season. We're told the plane is expected to be able to fly again tomorrow. That's very good news, because typically we only have 2 of these.
I fought fires for 7 years in Canada. I didn't even realize you didn't have these. No, we do. We do. They also sent them, obviously, from Quebec and other places as well, because there was a need for additional planes like this. And one of them got hit by a drone. My province, with 1 million people, has 6 of these water bombers. I assume you guys will have a bunch too. I guess not.
Crews out there have the drone that hit the plane. The FAA wants to remind people it's a federal crime to interfere with firefighters and their operations. And flying a drone near wildfires is not only dangerous, it's not recommended, it's illegal.
Why don't we have more of these? I don't know. Maybe because we have a lot of planes. It's just planes that drop not water bombs, but bombs. I heard LA only has 2 water scoopers available. Is that true? Because the Pentagon just announced that they want to purchase 150 B-21 Raider stealth bombers. So I'm trying to understand the relative ratio. I'm not saying anything, but you know, it seems like we have a much better use of federal funds and local funds as well in terms of helicopters, for example. They can't build these planes up here north fast enough for the demand. The US only has 10 Super Scoopers. Canada has 64. Okay, well, guess what, dude? How many fighter jets are you guys giving to Israel or Saudi Arabia or Egypt or any number of our security partners? Excuse me. That's right. Guess what, dude? Other countries need. Yeah, also U.S. about to have 74 when we annex Canada is so funny, because we're going to take over Canada and then we're going to also eliminate their super scoopers. We're going to be like, nah, you don't need them. We need to use all of your productive forces to make our own more bomber jets.
Air support because of the winds. And so, of course, I am absolutely frustrated by that. I am not sure that is correct, that there are no resources up there, but rest assured, as soon as we are done here, I will follow up on that.
I will say this. I'm wondering how many how many flights were grounded because President Biden was going to Los Angeles to visit his great-granddaughter. So that has to be investigated, too. Did you clear out the airspace that could have been used? How did the president get in?
Here's the thing, too. We learned a lot after Katrina, right?
Yeah, we did.
When you had that hurricane that went into North Carolina, no one was expecting that. But in California, you do expect wildfires.
Right.
They happen all the time. So when you're the mayor, you would think you would have.
Yeah, what about Florida? What about the hurricanes in Florida? Because I didn't see you guys complaining about Ron DeSantis, interestingly enough. I don't know.
The proper tanks, the tanks would be filled to the brim. They're saying they were, but are they? Were they?
They didn't have enough.
And they didn't have enough, so you build more.